But before we begin, let us share with you a little bit about Education 2.0 and what we are planning to do today and why did we start this entire thing. We started this because we realized that education is changing at its fastest pace possible. In the last 10 years, it has been quite slow, but over the last 1.5 years, everything has changed and our lives have completely been turned upside down. Right. And but I believe it is for the positive. And we are here. We gather together once a week to motivate each other. We gather once a week so that we can find out about best practices. And today we are going to talk about something called living a great life. Not GREAT, but GRADE, a great life. And Kateryna is going to share with us. But before Kateryna gets into her zone, we are also going to break up into little breakout rooms for our distress calls. We'll get to that as well. But I thought before we begin, we will do a quick introduction. My name is Gabriel. I'm the host for this particular program. I'm also the founder of Score Campus. I'm from Singapore. I dabble with what you call the best practices, which is student-centered, right? I will tell you some of the time about what I do because we only have 45 minutes and I thought we should use it wisely. Anybody else wants to go next? Kateryna, maybe you can get the ball rolling.
Yeah, sure. I'm Kateryna, passionate educator and passionate about how education will evolve and develop after the pandemic. Luckily, we had this pandemic to understand that things are not going in a correct way in many ways and directions and in education. And I'm really happy to be a part of Score Campus.
Next, anybody else? Any volunteers?
I'm Amira. I'm from Mauritius. I'm a homeroom teacher. I'm here actually for that purpose itself because like Gabriel said, it has been like education in the educational field. There has been many changes throughout the 1.5 year, and it has been very difficult in terms of going online and teaching kids. And I'm an early years teacher, so wherever I'm finding workshops to attend to get ideas, to get views from all over the world, how everyone is living it. I'm taking part of those to inculcate myself and then bring those ideas to my community.
Haish, why don't you go next?
Hi, my name is Haish. I'm one of the coaches at Score Campus, and I'm getting really excited because of how we are shifting education slowly, and I'm very excited to meet all of you as well. Can't hear you.
Hi. So sorry. Hi, I'm Yura. Yes, I'm in Score Campus. I am in Score Campus as well. So this is one of our rooms. I've been here for 2 years. I'm excited to meet all of you. Just like what Kateryna said, the pandemic has shown us how we can change and how things can be better for us. And of course, one of it is everybody coming onto Zoom. So I'm really, really happy that everyone's here.
Gabriel, we can't hear you.
Azura, a quick introduction about yourself.
Oh, okay. Hi. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you here. I've never imagined that I could meet everybody from around the world just sitting here in Malaysia in my studies. Okay, I'm a head of early childhood program in Veritas University College, located in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So awesome. I'm looking forward to see what's about it today. All right.
We will maybe go with Scott right now. Scott, a quick intro, sir.
I am Scott Van Beck. I live in Montpelier, Vermont, and I connected with the Score Campus group via LinkedIn. My partner, Matt Barnes, and I work on what we call the education game. That's helping parents figure out the American school system and also to develop their children into self-directed learners.
Very nice, very nice. How about Surya? Can we have you introduce yourself?
Hello, hi, can you hear me? My name is Surya. I've been working a lot on using the approach of learning facilitation. I've been a facilitator for problem-based learning at Republic Poly for 10 years. Since 1998, I've been developing study skills for students to ensure that they can be both self-directed and collaborative learner. And starting from this year, I'm applying Edu Scrum or Scrum in Education through my programs that runs weekly.
How about Justin? Are you there, Justin? Quick intro about you. Oh, wow.
Hi. I'm Justin. I'm from Singapore. I met with Score Campus, like, if I recall, in 2019, right? Yeah. Right now, I just graduated from Polytechnic in Singapore. I'm mostly doing like things within the education and like youth sphere also. So I'm trying to build up the local student communities through like the student society and also like through platforms like Reddit and Telegram. Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. I think if I'm not wrong, Oscar is breaking fast, if I'm not wrong, or he's eating his dinner. Jeffrey, Dave, Suzanne, Ali, William, any of you free, just please. Okay, Jeffrey, I'm here to listen to everybody's inside support. Okay, Okay, Jeffrey said that, and if you can say something, it'll be great. If not, we will begin. Okay, anybody else wants to do a quick introduction in 5?
Oh, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm in the car on the way back home, and you're going to see my face in about exactly in 3 minutes time. Someone can count down. I'm part of the SCORE campus team as well, and been doing education for the past 4 years, and very passionate, love working with students, always looking forward to meeting educators and brainstorming ideas on how to make it better. Thank you.
Yeah, before we begin, a quick introduction about what we do as well. We are we are a student-centered space. We are based in Singapore. We're in a little place called Upper Thomson, Singapore. We are a group of people who broke all the rules of Singapore. So, we decided from day one that happy students is the way to go. And the moment we decided that it's on happy students, we worked everything else around it. We don't against popular thoughts and everything. We did not focus on the curriculum, the syllabus. We focused on happy students. Somehow we made it work. We've been around for 7 years. We are growing quite rapidly. After 7 years, God's grace, we are here putting on a team to take on the world, and the world needs help right now. And we are basically going out and telling to the world of educators that together we are a lot stronger, and we live in a world whereby educators around the world can come together and help each other out and reach out to a bigger audience. Finally, we can connect students around the world through learning. So we are excited. Okay, now, you know the topic of the day, living a grade life, GRADE. Now, how many of you are completely okay with that? Any show of hands? Okay, we got one.
No.
Okay, I don't know what's the thumbs up there. I don't know whether he's okay with that or not okay with that, but one person shows a thumbs up. Basically, generally, I think some of us are okay with it and some of us are against it. Now, what's going to happen is we are going to break into something called a distress call breakout room. Now, when you go into this breakout room, what you are supposed to discuss is not what is a great life. What you can choose to discuss is what is the distress call that got us here? Why did we become a great society? GRADE society, not a GREAT society. Why did we end up coming up this way? Is this the way to go? So the distress call has to be something along the lines of maybe distress call number 1, parental expectations. Could be one distress call. Okay, but there may be other distress calls. So now we are open to the group. We are going to ask you all to identify 3 distress calls, open to the floor. What are the 3 distress calls do you think we can talk about that is directly associated with a grade life? I'm going to keep quiet for exactly 1 minute. In 1 minute, we come up with the 3.
Good grades get you good jobs.
Okay, so you're calling that as
an expectation.
That as a distress call, right?
Yeah.
Good grades equates to good jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good enough distress call. Aish, can you type it down, please? Okay. And a second distress call, please. College acceptance. Yes, that is a second distress call. College acceptance. I like that one. A third one and the last one before we break out into rooms.
I think there's one from the chat. Parental pressure.
Who wrote that?
Oscar.
Oscar wrote that. Parental pressure. So we've got our 3. Okay, now I'm going to run through with you what happens in the distress call. All of you will be given 5 minutes into each one of those rooms. And yes, we have identified them as parental pressure, but remember, you're not going to talk about a distress alone. You have to discuss a possible solution. Okay, so we are not going to get together and, oh no, parents are like that. We're not going to do that for 5 minutes. We're going to talk about 2 to 3 concrete ideas that we can do. You know what? We're going to tackle parental pressure exactly this way. That's what we're going to do. Let's be bold. Nobody's watching us, right? So let's be bold. Let's go nuts, let's go wild, let's go crazy. And anytime, and Haiysvariyah, at your discretion, anytime, throw us into those breakout rooms and we'll begin. Any solutions? How do we convince the audience that good grades doesn't mean good jobs?
Good jobs don't need good grades. That's what you're saying, right?
For my study skills development, how I hire my facilitators is that I make everybody, regardless of their education background to go through an apprenticeship program. So everybody learns from the start, and everybody goes through an understudy period, understudy phase where they will actually work with a more experienced facilitator or myself. And when they get into that, then usually it's more of how long they last in the whole program. Because the dedication required when you want to work with students. For example, in the approach of facilitation, two key things we need to establish is a cognitive congruence and the social congruence with the students. So when facilitators are not able to meet that social congruence of connecting to the students, establishing relationship, and then explaining to students in the way that they understand, which is the cognitive congruence, then it will be a struggle for my team of facilitators. So I mean, everybody goes through, and my requirement is simple because I'm dealing with students. So I was looking at more of the experience as a student rather than anything else. So minimum is, as long as 12 years students, you can be my facilitator for study skills development, because what is key for my team is actually the experience as students so that they can share with other students and not so much being an educator or facilitator. But that's peculiar to the work that I do.
Very nice. Okay, anybody else pertaining to distress call number 1?
Good grades to good jobs, right? What I emphasize in my students, I didn't do any apprentice like what Surya said just now. To me, it's like because most of the student is taking diploma in early childhood education. Okay, what I did is actually I bring them to the industry. So instead of learning only theory, they get to see what happened in the industry. It's not a practical, but I call some special needs teachers who has been 25 years in the industry, so they get the idea. They don't think that it's just a teaching kids, it's easy. So they get to learn what's going to happen. What is the worst experience? What the great experience? So I think that gives them a better view on what they will face in the industry. So yeah, so in order to
Okay, we're running out of time. We'll move on to distress call number 2, which is
college acceptance.
College acceptance. Okay, we've got exactly 1 minute to go through this very quickly. Your thoughts, your solutions. What, if not grades, how else can college accept students if not grades? Unless you're saying if then grades only, then you can stick to that.
Gabriel, real quick, I told the story of a college admission officer from Pomona College in California, and they basically shifted their entire acceptance decision-making away from grades into a wider portfolio. And so the shift is very small, but it's starting to happen in the States.
Very cool. We were talking about portfolios as well. Distress call number 3, last one, which is parental pressure, right? I know this can be a topic by itself, but we'll just take a minute for this. Maybe the next one should be about parental pressure. Huh? Any solutions for this parental pressure?
The thing that I've been working on is actually to talk to parents. Yeah. So for example, every time in Singapore, when they release the PSLE results and GCE results, I will send out a call to my network. If you need help on what to choose, what courses to choose, you can book 1 hour of my time, either make face-to-face or Zoom call, and we can talk about it. Yeah. So and that helps. So each call, I will get 2 to 3 parents signing up, which is good enough for me.
Anybody else? A solution to parental pressure? Okay.
I think the more that parents can hear from employers and college admissions officers, that grades aren't necessarily correlated with either top performance in the workplace or in college. I think that might soothe some of the parent anxiety.
Very true. Very true. Okay.
Too, just really quickly, because I know we want to get on, but I think if parents are involved in the classroom and they see their child with their peers, that gives them a different perspective, because at home they see their child and they see only their child and they think their own child is brilliant, gifted, great. and they want the best for their child. But when they see them in a group of 25 or 30 or 35 children, they realize that, you know, maybe their child is actually just average and just, you know, and that might give them a bit of a reality check and give them a different perspective. So it's about, and I spoke last time when we were chatting, it's about, you know, lowering that fourth wall is the way I described it, letting parents in to see what's going on so that they can see the learning that's taking place and their child in comparison to all the other children. Perhaps that would relieve the pressure. Perhaps it would build the pressure. I don't know.
Yeah, we won't know until we do it, right? Yes. Okay, now let's welcome the superhero of the hour, Kateryna. She chose the subject matter. This is a great life. So instead of just me interviewing, anybody who has a question that you want to ask her, but we want Kateryna to do a very quick introduction of herself, what she does, and why this particular subject matter resonates with you. That's what we want from you. We are going to give you exactly 1 minute, 30 seconds to do that. Okay, you can go now.
Thank you. You started for, you know, standards. You're putting me in pressure already. Okay, great. So I'm Kateryna. I'm a passionate educator. At the moment, I'm teaching grade 1 students, 6 and 7 years old. But at the same time, I'm a mother of 2 teenagers, and I'm dealing with huge amount of parents as well. So this is me. I think it's less than 1 minute and 30 seconds. And I will be trying to, you know, to take us all through the real life experiences of my friends, of myself, of my children, and of my family as well, and families that I know regarding the grade life.
What kind of experiences, like you are teaching in the Middle East, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about the kind of parental pressure that you would face, so that the rest of us kind of feel whether, you know, is it similar to where we are from, or is it very, very different?
Yeah, sure. And I would like to build on what Dr. Catherine mentioned about being open to parents, what happened during the pandemic. This is the first time when Middle East parents could really see what is happening in the classroom. And when we all were like overwhelmed with this pandemic, we couldn't understand what is going on, how to handle these all situations. We all were so empathetic to one another. And parents started to be so thankful. They started to be so grateful. They started to be involved. But sadly, now in 1 and a little bit year, it just disappeared. It just vanishes somewhere. We started to from all over again, like, okay, my child got 96. Where are these 4 marks? They wouldn't like focus on okay, my child is great, we got this 96. They will bug the teacher, they will bug the administration. Where are these 4 marks? Where did you hide them? Where did he or she lose them? And it's really difficult to explain, even in terms of participation. When they literally see that their child could lose marks on participation, they would still insist that no, we did the perfect job. And to be honest, here in Middle East, we face this huge problem where we have like over support from parents when they're trying to, you know, to do everything instead of their children. Of course, now talking more about elementary, yes, in middle school and in high school, we have different things to different matters to figure out and sort out. So parents in Middle East are very focused on grades because they are so worried about their children. They want them to be doctors, they want them to be engineers, and nobody else.
Okay, anybody else has got any other questions for her? Okay, so basically, does anybody feel that Middle East is any different from any other country? Okay, so we are all in agreement. We are all facing the same kind of same nightmares. We're all having the same nightmares. I'm sure Surya, Haiysvariyah, and Dave and Ira can share the nightmares of Singapore, and Kathy, the nightmares of Australia, Mira from Mauritius, Azura from Malaysia, and Scott from the US. And I think we all have similar nightmares. But let me ask you something else. It's like, tell me more about the students of Middle East, the schools maybe where you are teaching. What kind of experiences outside of grades do they get? So what kind of portfolios are they exposed to, or are they exposed to portfolios at all?
See, they are exposed to portfolios, of course, in some matter, in some extent, sorry, but they are really afraid of taking the risks because of the parental, pressure. This is the most important thing that we are facing here. That parents are putting such a terrible atmosphere at home. For getting the highest grades, so that the students are not even interested to go further, to take the risk to learn something new, to even take some, let's say, free course for development. They're just focused on this particular material. If there is something else that is interesting to them, but it's not included in the test, they most likely will not. So we are really working now hard on establishing portfolios, particularly in our school, and I know also experiences from different schools where we really want to bring them closer to, to this space of mistakes are normal. Failure happens. You can learn from it. So not everything depends only on the grades and only on the standards and only on the particular questions in each and every single test. So these are our students, unfortunately. It's so. And on the other hand, there is this small percentage of students who are really willing to participate in some competitions, in some activities, and it depends a lot on the culture and environment of the school itself, because also if the culture is focused on taking risks, on stressing on success rather than achievement, then parents are gradually also being educated. The awareness is also there.
Okay, Scott just brought up a very interesting topic, which is in the grading system, right? When we say holistic grading, what does that even mean to an educator in the Middle East? What is the meaning of holistic grading, and is this happening? We can all answer in a while. I'm sure you all would have your own little perceptions of what is holistic grading and whether it's happening or not. But we'll start with Kateryna. Is holistic grading happening, or do we feel that it is important at all?
Now, see, I will explain you one thing, that in UAE, schools are very different, and we had chat with Haish about it. Yeah, our school, the school that I am working now at the moment, is American curriculum school where we follow Common Core standards. Yeah, some schools are governmental; they are following the UAE ministry program. Some schools are following British curriculum. Yeah, so it's really hard to tell you the whole picture. I will be talking about the school where I'm in, where my children are learning. So we have this 100 grading system, and I cannot really say that this is a holistic approach, because we are trying just to cover the standards, right? We are not focusing on something that is beyond the standards, and we all know, absolutely all of you know, that standards don't have this enough power, enough space for creativity and innovation. So basically in our school for now, we are trying just to cover the standards that are mentioned for each and single grade, and the tests are pretty much the same, the questions are pretty much the same, because to show someone, let's say, some data, some achievements of our students, we cannot do anything but asking the same questions to show that yes, students learned this, students achieved this according to this standard. Apart from Common Core standards, we also undergo MAP testing, where we are analyzing also particular skills, and this also doesn't give so much, I cannot say that this is again holistic. We are not evaluating how resilient children are. We are not evaluating how they can handle particular life situations. Yes, when we are not evaluating anything related to some creative approach or something that maybe kid wants to do in a different way. We don't have this real space where we can go, out of this box of standards and really see what children can do apart from only achieving on the standardized tests.
I'm curious. I'm curious. What is a typical time span a student spends on so-called the academic front, purely on academics? Like, so for people who ask, like us who go to work, we spend about 8 hours per day, right? I'm curious, in the Middle East, in Singapore, Surya, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Students wake up at literally 6 o'clock in the morning, and they have to be in school by 7 a.m. Yeah, and by the time we finish school, it's at about 2:30, extra classes, possibly until about 5 o'clock. And then we've got tuition, extra classes, and then we've got homework. So by the time the student ends the day, it's easily 9:30. So you're looking at an almost 15.5-hour day.
Yeah.
And this is actually, we did a survey with a school 7 years ago. And these numbers, when we heard them, we almost fell off. But how is it like in the Middle East?
In the Middle East, see, it depends a lot on the family, how much they decide to engage the children. Yes, basically the school starts at 7:30, it ends by 2. And then after school, kids can have some activities. They are not necessarily taking some classes after school. Some high school students have some tuition hours, of course, because they cannot achieve on the international examination. Yeah, very few. They still need some support because the material is just too tough. It is just too much for this age, I feel. And here the society is, it's really interesting from the cultural point of view. There are a lot of cultures, a lot of nationalities, yes, a lot of religious groups living together. So again, I cannot tell you the whole picture. Maybe people from India who are living here are engaging their children from the morning till night. Yes, and families like, let's say, my family, I'm from Ukraine, my husband is from Syria, so we try to balance it somehow. Yes, we're trying to exchange the experiences. So it depends a lot on how family will decide on it. But in school, yes, we are from 7:30 till 2, with a few breaks, with few extracurricular activities.
Okay. There seems to be a lot of talk about families and family pressure, yeah? So,
yeah.
So the moment we start talking grades, we don't even talk about educators so much. We talk more about family pressure, and that is something that we could choose to address. My question for the group at large, all 16 of us here. Okay, we come together. We've been discussing something for over the last 1 hour, about 45-50 minutes. What can we do? What 3 things can we do to make it not so a great life, and hopefully make it a great life? What are the 3 things we can choose to do? What would some of your suggestions be? And the question is open to the floor now, with Kateryna's permission.
Yeah, sure. And I would say that I would suggest probably to stop and think and observe how the life after school and after university works. We never work individually. Yes, tests and grades and these achievements, this focus on always getting the highest, is developing ego in us, I feel. And after the school, after the university, we never work alone. We still need to work in groups, and this collaboration matter is never there. Yes, so we need to just observe. We need to make parents maybe to observe, first of all, how they struggled after universities, after schools, and what was difficult for them, first of all. And from this point we could move on. Maybe they will realize, like I at some moment realized that I struggled a lot. I just cannot take my children through this path again. I need to relax. I need to see what is really interesting for them. If they say no, I have to listen. I have to give them some space, and not to just give them some space freely to them. Maybe to try to approach what I try to communicate from different sides. We need really to educate parents first of all, and to raise awareness of how life really works.
Maybe we should organize like a parental conference on Zoom, huh? I think that would be fun. And anybody else on feedback as to what are the 3 things we can do? So she said something along the lines of stop and think. So that's solution number 1, stop and think. I would like to say something here. I work a lot with adults, and mostly corporate leaders, and the amount of complaints corporate leaders have of undergraduates and graduates who are coming out of school, if we can record that, I don't know how many will be open to that, but if we can record those in a video and send it back to parents, it will send them a very, very clear and disturbing information that school is not helping in the corporate world. Because I work with so many industrial leaders who have got almost nothing good to say about I've even worked with some of the top university people, and then in the corporate world it doesn't. It's all about humanity. It is all about how quickly you are able to respond to solutions. And that's something that I wanted to do. I've been wanting to do for quite some time, but a lot of my friends are very reluctant to the fact that they will be recorded. They don't want parents coming after them. But anybody else, any solution you can think of, what we can do today, a message that we can put out, or even a project that we can do together as a group, instead of meeting every Tuesday alone, we could do every other Wednesday, we could do a project together to reach out to parents, you think? Any solutions there?
One of the things that I said earlier on is that conversation with parents. So I moved them away from looking at the grade by asking the parents, what is it that you want for your child? And what does the child want to do later? So once they get into an idea, okay, what does your child need to get there? Do your child need this grade to get there? Is there any other way that your child can get to where he or she wants to go to? So I do this by educating parents on the various pathways.
Very nice.
And what is the minimum requirement that you just need? Because I keep telling them that, your grades, how far can it get you? Let's stretch it. So if your child has this grade, let's stretch it how far, and then we see what else is needed for the child in order to get to the next step. And when they don't have the good grade now, okay, let's go, what is the best option now? Let's think about now where they are. Let's build them from where they are and where do they want to go in the next step. So I've guided a parent who was very disappointed with the child because she didn't do well for the PSLA, got into normal technical stream. In Singapore, it's a no-go for some parents, but I managed to educate. I encouraged the child to explore other things. She's a very short girl, but she was encouraged to go for a trial for the national netball team. Yeah, then I showed that I talked to the parents. I always communicate to the parents, and I said, look at what your child is becoming into. She's very confident. She even with her height, where other netballers are much taller than her, she's willing to take that plunge and tryouts and go for tryouts and do that. So after a while, it took about 3 years of communicating. Finally, the father accepted that is where his child can be, and then try to see where she can go thereafter.
It's all about perseverance. At this time, I cannot not bring this up. I have to bring this up because my wife, who is that young lady over there, her name is Ira Atika, who's actually all of 5'0", and she is actually a national netball player. So it's really about and I'm telling you, Scott is a basketball player. She can ankle break some of us, And you're right, Surya. It's really nothing to do with it's all about perseverance, persistence. Which sometimes, in the educational world, we just don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And for me, what really hurts is sometimes the child will come and say, "Oh, it's about grades. I got 45 upon 100." There's no emotional connection. There's no excitement. And now half the time when my students come into my center, it takes about half an hour just to perk them up, because they come from such a very boring environment. And there was some amazing suggestions. Anybody else before we do something a little crazier? Yes, ma'am. Kathy.
A number of years ago, they did some research and they asked parents what they wanted for their children when they finished school. And the responses were parents wanted their children to be happy, healthy, and successful. And then they teased out, well, what does successful mean? Does that mean you've got the most money in the bank, or do you've got the best house on the street, or you've got the high paying job? What does successful mean? And the parents were asked this and they teased it all out and they said, no, we just want them to be good people and we want them to be happy. We want them to be healthy. We want them to be good, productive people, not in jail, not on drugs. We just want them to be good people. So in the end, that's what parents want, really. They think that parents think that they want lots of money, but I don't think it's always the case. And that was what the research showed, that parents actually valued those other attributes more than the grades, I guess.
Yeah. Would be curious to know the age group of those parents, though. But would be very curious to know the age group of those parents. The young parents, I wonder what they would say, or if they're older parents, what would they say?
And then another thing I would like to add here, I think that most parents are putting an expectation because they want their children to relive their life. because they want their children to achieve what they can't achieve before. So that's why where the pressure comes in. So I guess, yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, and I just wanted to mention that the good thing is to just give up with our dreams and stop putting this, this assertive some kind of thing on our children, that if I didn't become interpreter, my child should be. As I probably I failed to be an artist maybe, and I'm trying always to put this artistic effects into my children's work when they are just looking at me like, Mom, stop it please, no need for this. So we really need to stop, because from my own experience also, I probably didn't study the thing that if I would have chosen, it would be completely something different. It wouldn't be philology, probably something completely else. It's just because my mom couldn't do it in her age. I followed and I fulfilled her dream, not mine.
Yeah, I'm a victim also. I can understand. Yeah, but I am here. I survived.
That famous.
There are some questions, sorry, Gabriel, on the chat. I think Oscar asked how important are grades for you. I don't know if it was a question for me only or for everyone. I would say, Oscar, that grades are important. We understand that they are important because still to achieve, to enter the college, yes, to go to the university, we have to achieve this. But for me personally, grades are not so important. I would really appreciate, let's say, from my children teachers to tell me, okay, your son doesn't take risks, your son is not responsible enough, your daughter could be more creative, your daughter could find another way to implement what we learn. I would really appreciate some feedback on some soft skills, what we call them now, rather than grades. I can see, okay, on this test he got this, but I'm not really interested for now in the grades. I need to know how about the personalities of my children, and I would love as a teacher to tell to parents, to talk to parents more about how I see their children, in a team. Grades you can see, the report card is there.
Very nice, very nice. I think for me, one of the things is like eventually we could go towards a society where children are able to participate in learning and not just take exams. We are going toward, I think Scott and I talk about this, Kathy and I talk about this a lot as well. It's a student-centered learning environment. Education driven by students, rather than teachers, going after them for grades, and parents. I think I will not survive today as a student. If my parents are chasing me, my teachers are chasing me, and my tuition teachers are chasing me, and everybody's chasing me, it will lead to depression. And I can quite confidently say that when I walk out into the main roads of Singapore and I see students, the faces sends 1,000 pictures, send 1,000 messages, and it's really sad. And that is something we could do something about. And I would love for us to work together on a project soon, something global, something that we could involve all our countries. I would share with you guys what we can do. I think in 2 weeks' time, when we meet again, we should definitely talk about parental pressure as the main topic. And we should say something along the lines of, the title should be The Craziest Things You Have Heard from a Parent. I think we can go 3 hours on that one, but anyway, we should keep it to 1 hour. But I think we should do that. And any special guests here, whoever wants to be a special guest that day to be interviewed, any volunteers, or should we volunteer somebody from this group? Kathy has done a session already. Scott has done a session. And who else has done a session? I think, Kathy. So anybody, now Kateryna has done one. Shall we nominate somebody here as the guest for the 2 weeks from now? Anybody? Any choices?
Well, didn't Dave put something on LinkedIn about a parent that approached him? So I reckon it should be Dave.
I was going to self-volunteer myself.
Oh, were you? I got in first.
Dave has heard some horror stories. He's told us a lot.
Oh yeah.
It'll be nice to hear from everybody as well, some of the horror stories, but I think Dave will have enough to entertain us. And maybe we should have a special guest host as well. I was hoping if Azura, if you are free 2 weeks from now, if you can be a guest host. What do you think?
What about parents? So
What
it's time for me to talk about my parents. The bad word that come from my parents. Yeah, sure. Anytime. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sure. Yeah.
It will be Dave as a guest, and our guest host would be Azura. I'm looking forward. And I'll be sharing with you certain things about a project that we are working on, but I'll be sharing with you on a private chat.
Okay, sure.
Anybody who's in Singapore who wants to visit us, have a cup of coffee with us, please come over. Kathy is planning a trip around July, August, September period.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Kathy is planning a trip, and we are all planning to meet in Bali in January. Please come and join us. It will be a party. We are thinking Mauritius as well, but let's see the COVID situation. Bali is now opening up. So we are planning a teachers get-together experience from the 12th to the 18th of January 2022. It will be a party. So come and join us. I will let you know more the next time as well. And any final words from anybody? We've got the last 30 seconds.
I think you said it was work and a little bit of party, didn't you, Gabriel?
Party and a little bit of work. Yes. Work.
Yeah,
we are going to go there and teach in all the Bali schools. It'll be fun. So don't if you are deciding to come, please don't come to sit down and listen to some guy talk or some lady talk for 12 hours. That's not going to happen. Okay, so we will all be getting to all the schools in Bali. We'll be teaching. If the kids give us a thumbs up, we won. If they give us a thumbs down, we work harder. Anybody else? If nothing else, everybody can turn on your cameras. Let's take a group picture. If you can, if you're not eating or if you're properly dressed. Okay, we'll wait for 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Haish, can take a picture. You can tell us 1, 2, 3.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, wait, people are still switching on their cameras.
People are switching on their cameras.
Jeffrey, are you coming on?
Jeffrey, we're going to give you 5 seconds.
Okay, give us an emoji, okay?
Giving us an emoji. Okay, ready? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, also, we do have a WhatsApp group. So if you want us to add you inside, right, do let me know your contact number. So we can all at least continue sharing and continue chatting in that WhatsApp chat.
Yeah, not about personal stuff, just only about work, you know. If you have a girlfriend issue, that is not the right group. You can contact Scott.
Why not? Well-being is
I do
important.
relationship coaching as well if you want.
Again, please. What is it?
Relationship coaching if you have girlfriend issues.
There you go.
Also, the issues directed there.
You contact Surya then. Okay. All right, you guys. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Kateryna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a good day, everyone.